Welcome, welcome to Fine Tune Fridays. How are we going today? Oh my goodness, it is the last one for 2022. Can you even believe it? I'm kind of a bit stunned. Where has this year gone? Because I have no idea. Maybe you can tell me where it's gone, because you know, between all of us, maybe we'll figure it out. All I know is it's disappeared very, 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 very fast. And what can I say? All right. That's weird. Okay. Well, it's saying I'm connected to something. I'm assuming that if I was, oh well. Hello. Please say hello if you can see this, because I don't know. I'm guessing I'm online. I can see that we've got a couple of friends joining us. So, oh dear. What a funny old day. We've got friends. Yay! We've got friends. Yay! I can see you joining. Thank you so much for joining me today. The very, very last Find Your Fridays for 2022. Can you even believe it? Incredible. So, one little thing that I do need to double check is, where are we at with the moon cycles for the next week? Okay, so we've just had the new moon on the 23rd, as we all probably know. So let's have a look, which means we need to have a look at the moon cycles for 2023. Probably means at the start of the start of the year is actually going to be nice and calm. Wouldn't that be nice? Nice for a change. Okay. So January 2023, it says there is a full moon. Oh, yes, I guess so. On the 23rd, which was the new moon was the 23rd. So we've got a full moon coming up on Saturday next week. So we won't have to worry about it for our general reading today. So that's great news. So yes, we are going to have a reasonably smooth-ish start to the year. Because of course we'll do the reading for next Friday will include that full moon, which will be coming up on the Saturdays. So how was your Christmas? Let me know. How was your Christmas? How did you go? Was it happy? Was it easeful? Da, 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 da. Let's do our little one across the bottom. There we go. All right. All right, well, let's have a look at what is going to be our a general reading for the next 7 days from the 31st of December through to Friday the 6th of January 2023. What is the best way for us to move through this next 7 days as a collective? What can we get them? How can we get the most out of this time? As you can see, I'm in a slightly different location today. I'm house sitting at the moment, which has been such a gift for my body and for me and my energetic system. It's been just really lovely, actually. So I get to make use of their incredible streaming space while I am house sitting, which is absolutely great. So grateful. Alrighty, so let's do this general reading for the week to come, being the 31st of December through to the 6th of January 2023. Oh my Lord, who could believe it? All right, so we've got the first, so this is things that we can do that it's a general reading for us all. And in doing so as a general reading, it is also about how can we advance the collective. And, you know, if something doesn't really resonate for you, that's okay. It might be for someone else in the collective. There might be things that resonate more for you than they do for other people. So here we go. First of all, we've got teaching and learning. All right. So we've got the beautiful Archangel Zadkiel, and it says to keep an open mind, learn new ideas. Interesting. My words wanted to put tricks in there. Then teach these ideas to others. So for the next 7 days, of course, we're going to be doing a lot of reflecting on the previous year. We're going to be doing a lot of looking into what we're going to get for what we're looking to achieve in the new year. So within that, I would say have a look and see what things have you learned over the last year. What things are you like, yeah, wow, I can't believe I learned that in the last 12 months. What skills, what talents, what gifts have you embraced over the last 12 months? And then have a look at what sort of things would you like to learn in the new year. So with that one, it's really a case of maybe you would like to do some seminars or workshops, either as an attendee or perhaps as the facilitator. And now in this week is going to be the perfect week. It's going to support you wonderfully to do that. A lot of people are away on holidays, and there's some nice sort of downtime happening right now for a lot of people. So this is the perfect week to start doing that planning. Okay, you pass the new year, the Christmas madness, you pass the New Year's rush and crush, especially if you're going into those, sales and things like that. So this week to come is a really lovely week for reflection, acknowledgement, and also for future planning. The next card that we've got is the Indigo and Crystal Children, and it says here that you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. Now, if you're in my audience, more than likely, the children who are sensitive is you. And so I would suggest that this particular card here is having a look at your inner child. Have a look over the next 7 days if any sort of trigger points are sort of coming up or have come up over the last 7 days, especially with being around family and all of that sort of stuff. Have a look when those trigger points come up and go, oh, where was this featured in the first time in my life? And what do I wish I had heard at that time, which would have soothed me? Because quite often when we're reacting, good morning, Angelita, quite often when we are reacting to something, it's because, and it seems almost like unreasonably so, it's probably because there's a trauma point from when you're a child sitting in there running in the background. So have a look at that. Be aware of where your inner child is asking for some love, some unconditional love. The next card that we've got for our general reading is remember who you are. So particularly given that we've got party time happening tomorrow, and there's a lot of stuff that comes up around party time and being New Year's Eve and stuff like that, that we can sometimes get a little bit lost. We lose ourselves to the food, the alcohol, the party. We might have a whole bunch of projections and expectations that pop up. I know for me, one of the things that used to come up a lot around New Year's was a desire to have, the hallmark Hollywood type of New Year's Eve, where I would be up and awake and partying with my friends and my loved one and my partner rather. And at the stroke of midnight, you'd have your big snog. And you know what? Most of the time that I've been in relationship and had New Year's parties or been in that New Year's time with them, pretty much every single one, they've been asleep or drunk. So my hallmark moment of New Year's Eve to New Year's Day, I really have not satisfied that at all. And now I'm just like, yeah, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I had to look at why is that still running for me, right? And is that truly who I am? Is that, or am I trying to be something I'm not? And am I trying to force my partners to be something that they're not? So especially for tomorrow night, for the New Year's Eve parties and things like that, remember who you are. Remember what your values are. Remember what makes you sing, and remember how to have fun without necessarily diving into other people's versions of you. Okay. And then ironically, the next card that's come up is healthy lifestyle. So this, of course, is a little bit of a cheeky nudge from our spirit team saying that's okay to have a few drinks, but don't go nuts. There's a lot of impact on your body when you go nuts on the alcohol or whatever. So our teams are saying for the next 7 days, just be mindful of your health and well-being. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that are not only going to be drinking a lot, there's going to be a lot of food once again. So just be mindful of how much you're eating, how much you're drinking, have a good time, but just in moderation, The next thing that we've got, next card, is gentleness. I love this card. It's so lovely when it comes out. And it says, be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So being that we've got the full moon coming in at the end of the 7 days, as in it's on the Saturday rather than on the Friday, the lead up, that couple of days leading up into the full moon can be quite intense for some of us. And I know for me, it is. I get really buzzed by the full moon. The new moon, as I think I've told you guys, really drains me. And yet at the same time, I don't want to sleep. So my body is like in this very vast swing of I'm really tired, but at the same time I can't sleep. The full moon, as we are coming into this next, it tends to make me go really like bzzz, and it's just like I've got so much energy, and it's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. Yeah, just be aware of how you're going and traveling with that full moon energy, and just be gentle with you, be gentle with you over the next few days as well. I think that's just a general card, not just for the end of the week, but overall. There's a gentleness that we're going to be required to be with the people that we surround ourselves with over the next 7 days as well. Okay, there is one more card that comes out, is asking to come out before we do the yummy card. How are you going, Angelita? Thank you so much for sharing it out. Appreciate you. Okay. Interesting. So this is kind of tapping into the first card. Ironically, it's alcohol. That's burgundy. The color is burgundy, which is talking about awaken your passion. So this next 7 days, also have a look at what are your passions. Are you really looking at embracing them? Where do you wish your targets to be in 2023 by this time next year? For me, my target is about balance. Continuing on with the flow that I've already got the foundation for over the last few years, but particularly in the last year, of the work-life balance, and just maintaining that balance moving forward. So there's a very big temptation on my behalf to be on the go, go, go all the time. And I have this week had a lovely reminder that it's actually really, really good to have a day or two where you just slow down and do very, very little, pretty much nothing at all, and other than what is absolutely necessary. And the first day of doing that, which was Boxing Day, or the day after Christmas Day, for those of you over the other side of the world who don't have Boxing Day, my body was like tense. She was like anxious almost, and like just a little bit edgy. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? I don't understand. And then I realized it's because there was some underlying belief systems running there. And I actually did a post about it today. So if you want to have a look at that, pop over to my Facebook page. You'll see it there. You can have a little bit of a sit down in a cuppa and a read. And it was just so interesting to see what was happening for me on the internal. So again, this card here with the indigo and crystal children is, to me, it's really talking to your own inner self, your own inner child at the moment. So there we go, next 7 days. And let's have a look at our yummy card. I love how these cards smell. Okay, we got community. Okay, so reach out to your loving healing partners in your tribe, your community, your clan, your coven, your whatever you call it, the people who support you in the most loving, gorgeous, beautiful way. Reach out to them this week. Okay, maybe set up some coffee dates or cup of tea dates or whatever. Just schedule in some time, because it fits in with this gentleness. It fits in with the healthy lifestyle, because healthy lifestyle isn't just about what you're putting into your body as in food and drink. It's also about the energies that you're surrounding yourself with. So that lovely last card is basically saying, please surround yourself with loving, gentle people and enjoy some of that energy contribution and communion, and just flow with each other. Okay. And for most of you who are on my show as part of my audience are actually healers. So perhaps organize a couple of healing swaps or something this week. That might be a really big contribution to you and how you're moving through. You might find that a conversation while you're doing those sorts of swaps around where would you like to be in 2023, this time 2023, perhaps that will help to release some blocks for you. You know, it's interesting what happens in a swap. So there's all of that. So thank you everybody for having a little bit of a enjoying that little piece of reading for everybody. Sorry, I just had a whole bunch of spirit teams just going into my ear holes. So yes, if you would love to have an extended reading tonight, all the extended readings that are paid for tonight will be donated. I will be donating them through to Women's Refuge this time. I was driving back up to the place where I'm house sitting, and it's about a 40-minute drive, and I was just thinking how wonderful it felt to be able to donate to the food banks over the last couple of weeks. And the show and the business spoke to me, and they said, well, we'd like to donate to Women's Refuge. So if you do choose to get an extended reading tonight, I would be ever so grateful and thankful that I've never had to use Women's Refuge, but I do know that there are a lot of people out there that have had to use it, and every dollar that they get, every donation they receive, every time they receive care packages or support for moving forward in their lives is very much appreciated. So please know that if you do happen to donate tonight, that your donation will be going not to me as such. It'll be coming through me and going to Women's Refuge. Okay. How was your Christmas, Angelita? Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, we got a couple of people over on YouTube. Yay! Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you, Angelita. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out there. And I have some amazing friends who often donate goods towards Women's Refuge and places like that to help, support the women to get back up on their feet, especially, those ones that have come out of domestic violence type situations. While I'm very grateful I've never had to use their services, I've always had loads of support around me for times when I have been in trickier situations. I'm very grateful I've never had to use their services. So yeah, that doesn't mean I'm immune to what they have to work with, and the support that they give to other beautiful women out there. A lot of drinking and laughter on both days. Fantastic. I love that for you. Absolutely love that. It's the one thing about getting together with family that can be just so amazing is that laughter aspect of, especially if you don't get together too terribly often, is being able to have a good old natter and a laugh with your friends and your family. Sorry. All right. So here's another interesting and cool fact. We are on episode 30. Can you believe it, of Find You Fridays? Episode 30. I'm so very grateful to each and every one of you who are tuning in right now. I am grateful to all of you who will watch this in the future and who maybe are out enjoying a party right now. I'm grateful to the community. I'm grateful to every person who has supported me from my very first few episodes right through to now, and have come through from other channels. Perhaps they've come through from my work, or just my general Facebook, my Facebook friends and family. I'm so grateful to you all, because at the end of the day, it wouldn't be much of a show if I was just talking to myself. So let me just double check the old PayPal. See if anybody has donated. Oh, that's interesting. You can tell PayPal's American because they call it a crosswalk rather than a pedestrian crossing or a zebra crossing, which is what we call it here. Beautiful. So, another little funny story. I really like having my diary. I use my digital one the most, and for obvious reasons. Yeah, sidewalk, crosswalk. It was like the PayPal thing said crosswalk. And I'm like, we don't call it a crosswalk. You're lucky I know what you're talking about. And I like it basically how in some business diaries you get the week per 2 pages, but you also get the whole month on the 2 pages. And I'm like, I just really wish to have a whole month. I don't really need those 1 week per 2 pages thing. And I searched and I searched and I searched, and there were hardly any diaries out there that even had the whole month in it anyway. The only ones I found were like $30, and they were beautiful. I'll give you that. Very beautiful, but I don't wish to spend $30 on that kind of diary. And so it's like, oh, you know what? I think I'm just going to make my own. So I raided my cupboards this afternoon. I had driven, the 40 or 45 minutes back home because I came down from my place that I'm house sitting. I went home. I had to get changed so I could go mow the lawns, but I also gathered all my crafting things together that I would require to be able to make my own diary calendar for the next year. And I was like, this is great. I can put all the things on there that I want to have on there. I can decorate it. I can make it look pretty. I can put blank pages because I'll use one of my visual arts diaries or journals that I've got. Perfect. And now I've got something creative to do over the next 2 days too. So that's happy days. I'm looking forward to doing that. I've got a big, beautiful table that I can work on up here. So that would be awesome. All right. So let me see. What shall we do next? Okay. Are you ready, my beautiful viewers? Dun, 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 dun. That's right. It's the gratitude journal, the gratitude book time. I'll give you a quick little reading. Oh, wow, Angelita, that's beautiful. I've got my moon goddess diary that I'll be using as well. But yeah, $29 Amazon. That's $29 American too. So that would be cool. Well done, love, because that's the equivalent of, I think that would be upwards of nearly $40 Australian, 40, 45, something around there. So yeah, pick a number between 1 and 88, my friends, and we'll do a quick reading from our poetry book. So pop your number in. First number between 1 and 88. Oh dear. We have friends who are sitting over on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, my friends over on YouTube. I'm so grateful for you coming to join and say hello. Pop number in between 1 and 88. Thank you, Angelita, for getting the ball rolling. All right. So Angelita with number 55, which is clouds. As the clouds roll by, I lay watching. A type of peace comes over me. I've stopped my thoughts, my worrying, my troubles. For just a short while, I am me, laying there on the grass, watching the clouds as they roll by. So this is a very, very soothing, calming, reflective kind of poem. And for you, my sweet, I get that that's going to be very much up in your world right now, is just that space of being calm and soothed and loving your life and just being present with the right now, which is what happens when we are just cloud gazing. So I would also say, if you're not doing much of that right now, perhaps this is a little nudge from your team to say, can you do a little bit more connecting in with nature, please? And remembering that you are a part of something much, much bigger. And it's in the magic of clouds, you know, how they shift, they change all the time. I had a thought not too long ago where I was like, you know, clouds are just, and I wrote another poem actually, clouds are just absolutely incredible because they are great points of inspiration for remembering to not judge yourself. So a cloud shifts and changes constantly. Sometimes it's full of water. Sometimes there's a bit of electricity going. Sometimes it's almost so you cannot see it and it disappears. But it's just it. It doesn't judge itself in any way, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about clouds. And they just move and change, and that every single day that's completely different. So it's like, what if every single day where you are completely different and it doesn't matter? And the people around you will shift and change with you, just as the other clouds do. They shift and they change around each other. And it's a beautiful thing. It's freezing out, but it's cooling me for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Have you got snow there yet? I saw on the news that there was some, like the really the worst storm in, I think it was New York, and there was loads of accidents and things happening over there. I know you're not in New York, but it's like some pretty crazy weather happening over your guys' way. Ooh, la, la, la. Okay, let me just see if I can jump over. If I can. I was just checking to see if we've got any messages over there on YouTube. It does not appear that we do, so that's okay. It's nice to know. That was easier than I thought. No snow yet, but cold. Yeah. Yeah, I love the clouds. We played the game. I don't know if you ever played the game when you were a kid. We would often play it when we were taking our long drives, and it would be you had to see the shapes in the clouds. Yeah, it was a bit of a game and a competition to see who could see what in the clouds. All right. So it appears we've got some shy people out there today. That's okay. I had a funny feeling today was going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, so that's all right. So let me jump back over. Let's do that one. Let's hide that one. And let us do a nice little meditation healing session, drawing on the message from the week to come about being kind and gentle and nurturing. Just reminding you of the tools that we have talked about this year and allowing yourself the space to be you. So hopefully, Angelita, you're not driving. But if you are, hopefully you can still tap into the space that we're going to be. All right, so if you can, close your eyes and take a lovely big deep breath in all the way down through your belly, through your legs and to your feet. Filling all the way up to the top of your head and then slowly letting your breath out. And now once again, filling up from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. And then slowly letting your breath out again. Beautiful. Just allow your shoulders to relax. Allow your head to move slowly from side to side and front to back. That's it. Just loosening up all of those muscles that have been working so hard for you all year. They've supported you. They've kept you going. They've shown you when you're doing too much. So I'd like you to place one hand on your heart right now. And now just flood your body with gratitude for everything it's been for you this year. And your in-breath, bringing that unconditional love and gratitude through every cell and molecule of your body. And again, bringing that love and gratitude through every single cell of your body. Acknowledging your eyes because they've done such a good job at helping you to see. Acknowledging your ears because they've done such a good job of helping you to hear. Acknowledging your mouth because it's done so much for you this year, helping you to sustain your body, to nourish and nurture your body, both with words and food and nourishment. Maybe with the odd smooch or two. Moving down through your arms, thanking your arms for doing and being so wonderful at taking care of you, of being active for you, of being able to give hugs, being creative, preparing meals, doing cleaning, maintaining the home, doing whatever is required, maybe even just thanking your beautiful arms for helping you to drive to wherever you require to be, for holding the pen or typing on the keyboard, helping you to achieve the goals that you set out to do for your life for 2022. Thank you, thank you, thank you, arms, and your hands and your fingers. And sending that unconditional love and gratitude down through your heart. Thanking your heart for maintaining strong pumping blood throughout whatever you've been through today, any health, any unhealthy moments or sickness. Still pumping your blood and your oxygen around to every single cell in your body, all your muscles. Thank you, heart, for being so amazing. And now thank your energetic heart for continuing to share with you its inspirations, allowing you to feel your intuitiveness through your body, through your heart, moving down through the rest of your internal organs, thanking each and every single one of them for helping to sustain and maintain this incredible vessel that is you. All the way down through to your legs and your feet, giving them an energetic hug for being so incredible and helping you get from place to place. And if you have no legs or you don't have the use of your legs, thanking the legs who have helped you move from place to place. And perhaps your arms, if you're in a wheelchair. Thank your arms for doing double duty. And now you can allow your hand to drop down into your lap. Just perceive your body right now. Just give your body a quick scan and see if there's any tense muscles. If there's any tight spots, any tension. Send some unconditional love to those points. Beautiful, well done. Now expanding out your awareness. I'm going to do the expanding out tool now. Expanding out your awareness of your beautiful, beautiful body all the way out to the size of the room that you're in, and now to the size of the building that you're in. A big, big bubble up into the sky and down into Mother Earth, expanding out your awareness to the size of the country that you're in, and now to the size of the planet, to the size of the solar system, expanding out your awareness to the size of the galaxies, and now the universes. And if you desire to go any further, then you're more than welcome. But if you wish to stop right there, that's absolutely fine too. Beautiful. And now take a big deep breath and just have a moment to integrate the space that you're being. And on your big out breath, just focus on your body once again. And grab your sense of allowance, remembering that your sense of allowance is the ability to perceive, know, and receive and be anything from no point of view. Expanding out your sense of allowance. So you just see the things that are happening around you without getting wrapped up in the emotions of it and the trauma and the drama of it. You just get to see it for what it is. You get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. And then you can respond rather than react. It's a very powerful and potent place to be. Expanding out your allowance, out beyond the size of the room, beyond the size of the building, into a nice big bubble, expanding out your sense of allowance to the size of the country, and now to the size of the planet, to the size of the solar system, and the galaxies, and the universes. And now expanding out your allowance beyond your awareness. Beautiful. And now just perceive as your body just relaxes. And now scan your body once more. See if those tense, tight spots are still in the same place. Have they moved? And I'm going to show you a new tool. I'd like you to have a look at that tense and tight spot, the one that is calling to you the loudest. Perceive it. Have a look at the energy of that. It's more than likely going to be quite dark. It may even look a little bit black. Sometimes it can be spiky. Sometimes it can be a bit gloopy. This tool is one that I don't talk about very often, but it's one that I learned many, many years ago. Probably about 15 years ago, and it's called the core. So now imagine a little small white light version of yourself. Imagine that little white light version of yourself goes straight through the center and stops halfway through that tense, dark, tight spot. Now this might feel a little bit uncomfortable, but just bear with me on this one. And now as each breath comes out into your body, imagine that the bright white light version of yourself is expanding. Expanding, expanding, expanding through that dark spot, that dark energy, the tense, the tight. And as the bright white light version of you expands out, that dark energy, that heavy energy will start to break apart, dissolve, and dissipate. Keep expanding out that bright white light of you until all of that heavy, heavy darkness has gone. Sometimes it can travel. So if it does that, just roll with it. Punch through the center of it again and expand out. Beautiful. So there's a happy little tool for the end of the year. Now take a big, deep breath in. Breathing out. Thanking the bright white light version of you, which of course is unconditional love. Because that is unconditional love. And you can open your eyes. Beautiful. I hope that helps you all. It's a handy little tool to have actually. So one of the ways that I know that this particular tool really works, and because I've used it a little bit, you know how you just, when you have a new tool, you sort of play with it, you don't really believe it. And my mum was staying at a caravan park while she was studying out of town. And I had gone up to see her, and she had this clock in the caravan that was so loud. And I, up until this point, could not sleep with clocks or sort of bubbly noises. So if there was a fish tank in the room that I was in, I couldn't stand the bubbly noise of the fish tank. I couldn't stand the ticking of a clock. It was just like, it was too irritating for me, and it would just keep me awake all night, and then I would get really angry. And of course we beautiful. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Lynn. Fantastic. I hope you do that one again. It was nice. And so I just stopped, and I was lying in my little bed there, and I was like, okay, so this ticking clock, what part of my body is responding to the ticking of this clock? And I can't remember where it was. I think it was sort of up above my stomach area. And it was in a really random place anyway. And so I just did that zone technique on it. And now I can sleep with ticking clocks. I can sleep with all sorts of things. And thank you so much, Angelita. I'm so grateful for you. And yeah, so it definitely works. So if something's really, really irritating you, and it's something like that, which is really only irritating to you, have a look, see if that will help. Because, I mean, that was something I did, oh gosh, coming up 13 years here, I would say that'd be about 14 years ago, maybe, that I learned that. So have a look. Have a look and see what works for you. Thank you so much, Angelita. Is there a particular question that you would like answered, or would you like me to have a deeper look at? There's definitely some energy there, love. Hi, Shaniqua. How are you going, honey? Oh, goodness. Angelita, which is there a question that you would like me to have, or an area that you'd like me to have a look at? While you're thinking about that, let me just remind you all that I do these things. Oh dear. Oh my God. No pun intended. Now, here's why I'm saying, oh my God. I've literally, as that was playing, picked up the Mary Magdalene cards that I hadn't actually pulled out and started shuffling. Oh, I love it when this stuff happens. Because I was like, no, none of these other cards are wanting to come play with you. And I was like, okay, which ones? So there we go. That just gave me chills. Like, I'm just like, whoa. Okay, cool. So let me just see what Mary Magdalene has for you for your next week or so. Moving forward into the new year. Let's see. Have you ever listened to the book Complete Conversations with God? And I wonder which version of the Bible you're reading. Because as we know, perhaps when you're ready, you can get it on Audible, if that's a way that you like to consume books. And you can, there's actually three books. I just skipped over the interviews because there's like interviews in between each book. I just skipped over them. I wasn't overly interested in that part, but that was actually the one book that I read, or rather listened to this year, that took me back to the space of being able to even acknowledge the word God as a being, entity, energy, if you like. That was the book that took away a lot and healed for me a lot of my ancestral, maybe not ancestral, but personal lifetime trauma with religion. It helped to soothe a lot of the trauma and the pain that has been caused in the name of the Bible. And it really helped me so much with having a more complete picture of the universe and how it all sort of fits together. So highly recommend it, definitely. So, and the other one is that The Complete Conversations with God. All three, amazing. Yeah. See, Lynn's read them. So all three, amazing shifts for us to understanding things more. Yeah. So oops, let's just jump that one to there. Okay. I think his name's Neil Donald Walsh, I think, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. All right. So, this is really interesting, hun. So, what we've got here is, let me just double check, because these cards are really amazing. I just want to double check something. Okay. Cool. So your first card that we've got is called the Anointing. Okay, let me see if I can show you that one without it getting blasted out. There we go. So obviously you've got Yeshua, or Jesus as he's become known as, and Mary. And one of the things that I learned this last year is that Mary Magdalene came actually from a very wealthy family. She was also someone who was vilified because she was quite potent and powerful in her magical healing skills. She, along with which is stuff, this is stuff that I've learned also from Dolores Cannon's books this year. And Yeshua and Mary actually had this very potent relationship whereby they did a lot of healing for their congregation together. And what would often happen is that when Mary was doing her healings and Yeshua was doing his healings, people would be so spaced out and so wiped out by what she was providing that they would flake out. And I mean, I've seen this in healing sessions with me, but the difference is that they were doing these in open fields and things like that. And they would wake up, see Jesus and go, it was Jesus that did this. But in reality, it was actually Mary Magdalene that was doing their part of the healing. And the interesting thing is that she actually says, and this information also came through from another book that I read this year, which I'm going to re-listen to as well because it's very potent. And she said it actually worked in her favor for her healing to be attributed to Jesus, because it meant that at that time she wouldn't get slaughtered. Basically, she was able to continue on in her work. So very, very interesting to see this book. This particular card is coming up for you. So the transformation, you're going through a really big transformation right now, and you might be drawn to ceremony. You might be drawn to feeling like you have to do certain things at certain times. You might feel like that heart-centered connection is what you're really requiring right now. But there's a lot of change happening for you from a spiritual development, energetic sense. And you might be coming back to the Bible as a place to go, okay, this gives me soothing and calming and a centered place to be. Okay. The next card that we've got, just double check. Okay, cool. That's what I thought. My team keeps saying to me, stop looking at the book. You already know. I haven't played or worked with these cards very much. So the next card that we've got is Dolaman des Fades, which is silence. Okay. So Angelita, let me just jump back up so that I can, there we go. Cool. So people know I'm actually speaking to Angelita. So with this card, what it's reminding you is that in the silent moments is when your greatest, deepest awarenesses, your healing, your intuition will be flowing so much easier for you. So this is a reminder to you that throughout the space of transformation, take time to be silent. Take time to push away all of the distractions, the phone, the laptop, the music, the everything, and just be. So it kind of actually links in with that poem from earlier, The Clouds, right? It's just a space to be, because you're going to require those moments, if you can, daily, of just having quiet silence, peacefulness, so that your body can transition through this next change with a lot more ease. So we've got the next card is emerging from the shadow, reveal what is hidden. So you have a bubbling up of talents and gifts right now that they're really starting to ask to be acknowledged. And it's like it's no longer okay to play small. It's no longer okay. For you to continue to transition through this next phase with a lot more ease, you're going to have to acknowledge the parts of you that you have tried to hide, that you've tried to keep hidden and in the shadows. You may have had to do that because of your, the past, either this lifetime or another lifetime. So many of us have had those lifetimes of being persecuted and killed and tortured and for our gifts and talents. And now is a time where we can actually embrace them and bring them forward and not be in fear. So in our countries anyway, I get that there are still some countries in the world where to be in this healing realm and embracing who we truly be can still see you being killed or tortured or things like that. But thank goodness we don't live there. So embrace that side of you, embrace the dark sides of you, embrace the sides of you which you've tried to push away. Because in welcoming all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome, and having no resistance or reaction to it means that you'll actually be able to calm and soothe and then bring in the other parts of you. Okay. And it means that those parts of you that you've been trying to push away and to hide and not play with, you'll actually be able to work with them in a more cohesive and helpful way. You'll be able to use them to your advantage rather than disadvantage. Okay. The next card we've got is Stella Maris, which is about trust. Yeah. So with this trust, they're saying for you to trust you. So this is something that you're going to have to work on quite deeply, is your levels of trust with you, your levels of trust with your talents, your levels of trust with your gifts, and have a look and see what comes up. So when you ask those questions and maybe do some intuitive journaling, that's what's coming through at the moment, of asking yourself, just at the top of the page, write, where don't I trust myself? And start writing. And then flip it and go, where do I trust myself? And start writing. Just whatever comes to your head. It doesn't matter what actually comes out. It's very important just to let the words and things flow, and you can analyze it later. And then on the third one is, what would it take for me to have 100% trust with me and my talents and my gifts? And have a look and see what comes out there. Then you can analyze and see what is happening across those three aspects of trust, and and then you can make different healing demands of yourself to maintain and develop and create that trust for yourself. Okay. Hi, Melinda. Lovely to see you, lovely. All right. The next card that we've got is Hope and Illumination. And it says, hold the light. The interesting thing with this card is that right up in the top corner there, which you can actually see really well on the camera, but it's actually quite hard for me to see on the image, is I think it's a little dove. Looks like it. So this card is saying, despite the darkness, despite all the work and the transformation that you're going to have to go through, keep maintaining that light for you. Yeah, it looks a bit like a cloud, doesn't it? It does. But no, it's a little bird. It's a little bird who's sleeping. I wonder if the book will say who it is. Yeah. And the book was saying also holding space for others can be exhausting and sometimes a thankless job. Remember to take time out for yourself to process your feelings, which is 100% on point for this time of transition that you're going through right now. Embracing those shadow aspects of yourself, holding space for you while you transition through this. Okay. I'm not seeing anything about the bird. Yes. Oh, yeah. Here we go. The dove sleeps while waiting for humanity to awake. The flame burns clear and bright as a symbol of hope. So yes, I was right. It's a lovely little dove, just sitting up in that top corner there. So what I'm actually getting is humanity is waking up, and that is why you are doing what you're doing right now, because you're part of the process. You're part of the healing and the forward movement and the contribution to the community moving forward. You've got to do a little bit more of that work on you, and then you'll be able to assist the next lot coming through, as we all do. We all have to continue to grow, shift, change, and develop all the time. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to shift over to a color card. So that was just a lovely reminder to be kind, be gentle on you, take time for rest and rejuvenate, nourish your body. Okay, so for all of you lovely beings, perhaps you're a new person to my channel today, and I appreciate you so much for coming over and being here. If you wish to have an extended reading, please pop a little donation in. It's scrolling down through here. It's in the show notes. Yes, it's in the show notes. It's all over the place. It's in the chat. Please pop a little donation in, because these donations today are actually going to go towards the Women's Refuge. And you don't have to donate very much, but it's just an honouring of the space and the time that we be, and also a way for us to gift forward to others. Okay? Cool. So Angelita, your second to last card is turquoise. So I'm getting that this is a colour that you're going to be required to focus on for the next little bit. So when you're feeling a little bit like, shit, this is getting a bit much, come back to the colour of turquoise, because this is about awakening your empathy. Okay, so this is about awakening your empathy of you. So maybe gather some things around you that are turquoise colour, and whether they be clothing or stones, like, your crystals, your gems, whether they be things, I don't know, cutlery, crockery, whatever, vases, just bring the turquoise color. It's going to be a really beautiful support for you while you're moving through your time of transition into this newest version of you. And it'll be really, really soothing. That's what I'm getting. So let's have a look at your last little yummy card. We got guidance. Okay, so your spirit team is very strong. Your spirit team knows what is required for you to be able to move through this with a lot more ease than you think maybe that is going to happen. So please keep asking and connecting in with your spirit team. They are there to help you and to assist and support you in this next phase of what you're going through. Okay, so they've obviously guided you to the Bible, which is cool. Just remember also that the Bible has been kind of manipulated a lot. That if you go back through to those other books that I mentioned, and I may remind me, send me a private message later, and I'll talk to you about another book that I've listened to this year that I get will probably be a help, but you might want to listen to the Complete Conversations with God first, okay? Because this other book's quite intense. All right. So I hope that helps, my love. Thank you for donating. I know the beautiful women at Women's Refuge are going to be very happy to receive some extra donations. You're welcome. That was a beautiful reading. They're not always so calm and gentle, as we know. Sometimes they're a bit brutal in your face. Oh, dear. So let me have a look and see if anybody else has chosen to donate for an extended reading today. Apparently I'm still not a robot, which is lovely to know. Oh dear. Cool. Aw, thank you, hun. I was still blown away by the fact that the Mary Magdalene cards came out before you even said anything. Who knew? How is it? Just so cool, so cool. All right, let's give this one more shot, and then I will be running away to go and chill out for a little bit. So one more shot. If you haven't had a reading today and you'd like to have something very quick, pick a number. First number that pops into your head, not necessarily your favorite number, and it's only one number. All right? Oh my goodness, Angelita. I hope your car starts too. Thank you for coming to play. Good night, sweetie. Or good day, I should say. And Happy New Year, Angelita. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I know the lovely women at the Women's Refuge will be thanking you too, even if they don't know specifically who it's come from. So grateful for you. All right, Shaniqua. You're on to it. Okay. So I hope that wasn't your favorite number and that was actually the number that popped into your head. Twinkle, when you lose something that's really special, it's true that you don't realize what you had until it's gone. It may seem insignificant to someone else, but to you, it can mean much, much more than you ever thought. So Shaniqua, if you're grieving at the moment, please allow yourself to feel that. Please allow yourself to move through the grief process in the way that you would like to move through it. Okay, so not necessarily how your family does it, not necessarily how your friends do it. Start tuning into what your heart requires. Does it require to go to some kind of support network? Does it require, does your body and being require you to go to an energy healer? Does it require you to spend more time at the beach or just out in nature if you're not near the beach? Does it require you to just be quiet and journal? Does it require you to turn off all of the distractions and the technology and just allow your body to, move through the energies of grief? Okay. So that can mean that you wish to cry. That might mean that you get really fucking angry. That might mean that you would wish to dance and move through your grief while you cry. So what I would suggest to you is whatever is going on in your world, doesn't mean that grief doesn't mean that somebody has to have died. It can be the ending of a relationship. It can be whether that be a friendship or a work relationship or a personal relationship. It could mean, like in the case of this one, it's actually my cat who passed away. But at the end of the day, allow your body to feel what it needs to feel. So select a song, select 3 songs. Okay, the first song is one that makes you feel the sadness. The second song is one that makes you feel the anger. And the third song is one that helps you feel soothed and nourished and nurtured. So whatever 3 songs are there for you, choose them. Wait till you're in a point where you're by yourself and listen to them. Get up, move your body, and allow your body to feel and move through the motions of your grief with the song. Okay, it's really important to do that third song, that gentle, nourishing, nurturing song, especially after the angry song. So allow yourself to move through that. Okay, and if you cry, you cry. If you yell, you yell. If you scream, you scream. Doesn't matter. Allow your body to process what is going on. Okay, you have to get it out of your body. Okay. Hope that helps. So I said, I hope that it was actually the first number and not your favorite. All right. Melinda, you got 15, my sweet. All right. Crazy. I'm going crazy with longing for you. It's getting to a point where I can't tell whether it's anger or love. I hate it when I hear you've been alone with one of our friends. I know there's nothing going on, but it hurts so much. I'm afraid of how I'm reacting to your actions and that you'll think that I'm a crazy lady and that you'll begin to hate me because I'm reacting so badly. I need time to get over you, time to heal, time to forget. Time to accept you as a friend and not something to get jealous over. I'm like a kid with a toy and I don't want to share you with anyone. Everything is strange. Why am I thinking this way? It's crazy thoughts. Just crazy. So Melinda, where are you not being you? Where are you not allowing you to be fully truthful and honest with perhaps someone else or maybe yourself? And you're sending yourself through like the monkey mind whirly loop, as opposed to just coming back to your heart, coming back to your center. And, there's a lot of judgment in the energy of this one. Okay, so everywhere that you're judging yourself and, feeling like you can't be all of you, that perhaps you've had some disappointments lately, like, it's okay. It's okay. Just come back to your heart. Send that beautiful unconditional love. I don't know if you were here when we did the meditation. When the stream's over, I think it was round about half an hour in, have a look and go through that meditation and, just come back to you. Come back to the beauty and the gift and the magic of you and acknowledge the gloriousness that is you. Okay? Because the more that you do that, the more that you will be bringing in the people that will be able to see that and acknowledge it, because you'll be willing to receive it from them. Okay? So if you're still looking for that loving, most compatible partner, the time is to be the most compatible partner for you and not be diving into other people's stuff. Okay? Allow yourself to be free from judgment, especially from yourself. Alrighty, sweet pea. Hope that helps. All right, Lynn. Good. I'm glad you changed it from a favorite, because a favorite is not necessarily going to be relevant to you, especially when it comes to this book. You're welcome, Melinda. And you're welcome, Shaniqua. Alrighty, you got worries. In this world, there are many of them, most of which we could do without. They come in many shapes and forms and can arise at any time. The only way to solve them is to confront them. If they are avoided, they grow. So, to hope they'll go away is fantasy. But life would be boring without them. When we find that they're getting on top of us, that's when it's getting too much and it brings us down. So to be content, we have to combat the damaging to keep healthy and happy. So this is very much about, again, being aware of where you're letting other people's points of views come in and tarnish or taint your life and how you think of the world. So, for example, you could be the most glorious, gorgeous, uplifting, inspirational person around, and I can guarantee you that person never ever watches the news. But you watch, if that person then watches the news for a week, their mood will shift. If they listen to the radio and hear the news, their mood will shift. Their levels of judgment will increase. Okay? The news isn't there to uplift you. The news is there to keep you controlled and limited. And there are certain people in the world that will do the same because they are also infected by the news. So that's where you have to be very, very mindful of being sovereign, of being strong, of knowing where your boundaries are, and not to create barriers, which are totally different, but where your boundaries are, so that then you can go, actually, that's not relevant to me. Do you know what? That point of view is not actually relevant to me either. And that's cool that you've got that. But mine's something different, and that's okay too. I have had a lot of interactions with people over the last 12 months who are have very different points of views around certain medical treatments than I do. And you know what I do? I just let them say their piece. And in my mind, I'm going, it's cool that you've got that point of view. And sometimes I'll back it up in my mind with interesting point of view that you have that point of view. And I remind myself of that. And I don't buy into the trauma and the drama. I don't buy into the thing of having to go off and get tested and all of that sort of stuff. It's not relevant to me. Ever. Hasn't been for the last 3 years, and it certainly isn't now. But I'm not going to judge anybody else for having those points of views or belief systems, because that's what's true for them. It might not be true for me, but that's okay. And my truth isn't necessarily going to be true for them. And there's an element of allowance which is required there. And the greater you can be with your allowance, which is why when we go through those meditations we increase our allowance beyond our awareness, it enables us to be interesting point of view. It allows us to be that space of just going, that's cool. I see your point of view and I love you anyway. Because at the end of the day, it's all about love. They've spent a lot of time, effort, and money trying to destroy our love for each other in various ways, shapes, and forms, not just with the news. It's with our technology. But we can also use our technology to increase the love, to bring that unconditional love through all, so that we can connect with each other and be that space of gloriousness. So yeah, it's all about your point of view. Okay, remember, your point of view creates your reality. So if you're constantly saying things like, there was a young lass that I was working with this week, and she constantly says, oh, my body is just shit, it's fucked. My shoulder is buggered, blah, 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 blah. Now, she's young, and I mean young. And I said to her, honey, you realize that your reality creates your point of view? She goes, what do you mean? And I said, well, our bodies respond to the thoughts and the words that we use. So if we're constantly saying that our body is buggered, guess what's going to happen? Your body is going to go, okay, well, that's what you want me to do. I'll do that for you. It has no point of view about whether it's going to work for it or not. It just responds to our point of view and to what are we saying. So I said to her, if you wish for your body to be better, if you wish for your body to function well, I highly suggest you change how you talk about it. And she's like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, yeah. That's why when people are suffering from severe sickness and stuff, if they have the point of view that first of all, they've got to start listening to their body, because that's where sickness comes from, because they're not listening. But second part of that is that when they have that point of view that they're not going to let that stop them, they will conquer that. They will move forward. They will allow their body will allow them to create amazing, magical things in the world. There's one gentleman that I know of who had not only had, I think he's had one heart attack and 2 strokes, and he was basically wheelchair bound. And he just went, do you know what? I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to heal from this. And he did whatever it took to be able to heal himself. And now he lives this amazing life in Europe, and he's just doing incredible things over there. He's got his whole own business and healing modality and stuff like that, which he gets to teach to other people now and create even more amazing, magical things. But there was a point where he couldn't talk because of the strokes. He couldn't do much because of the heart attacks. And, you know, anybody else, all the doctors were like, mate, your life's pretty much over. And he was like, I'm not buying that point of view. Obviously, I had to stop and listen for a bit, because I wasn't listening to my body. I wasn't listening to my awareness system. I wasn't listening to my being. So yeah. Be you. All right. Hope that helps. All right. Well, my lovelies, thank you so much for joining me for Find You Fridays, the very last Find You Fridays for 2022. What an incredible year it has been. And if you haven't watched, if you weren't here right from the beginning, please go back, have a look at that general reading. It started at about 8 minutes in, and just have some nice gentle reminders about how we can work through this next 7 days. Okay? And it was not too long after that I did the meditation. All right. So in the meantime, everybody, I hope that you have an absolutely amazing, splendid New Year's celebration. If you are with other people, remember to be sovereign, be you. And if you are going to be celebrating it by yourself or just chilling out, maybe going to bed early, I wish you all the happiest, best luck in the world and the greatest, most amazing, oh gosh, there's so many words that are trying to come through right now. Abundant, full love, unconditional love flowing through absolutely every single aspect of your life for 2023. I am incredibly grateful to all of you who have come on the show and enjoyed time with me. I look forward to catching up with you next Friday. So in the meantime, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself. And I will see you next Friday. I love you. Bye-bye.